Copy 9700 past the Harbison Canyon. Download not evacuating at this time.
Tony Mecham, M-E-C-H-A-M, and I'm the Calfire and San Diego County Fire Chief. Today at approximately 1:50, we began receiving multiple 911 calls of a vegetation fire on eastbound Interstate 8 at Lake Jennings. Units from Lakeside Fire arrived within the first few minutes, found about 1 to 2 acres burning on the side of the freeway very aggressively uphill. Within the first 30 minutes, the fire had burned over 50 acres, rapidly expanded, and threatened the communities of Crest and Alpine. We initiated a very aggressive response from virtually every fire agency in San Diego County under the command of Calfire, Lakeside Fire, and Alpine fire districts. At the height of the firefight this afternoon, we had 7 air tankers, 4 helicopters, 43 fire engines, and 11 hand crews for just a little over 250 personnel on the incident. An update on the incident as we speak, the fire is a little bit over 400 acres. We do have the forward rate of spread stopped. We're feeling good about our progress as we go in to the evening. We did have approximately 15 people that were evacuated by the San Diego County Sheriff's Department, and they have been temporarily relocated. The fire also resulted in the complete closure of Interstate 8, initially both east and westbound. We are currently working with the California Highway Patrol to try and get eastbound Interstate 8 reopened. We are hoping to have the freeway reopened by 7 p.m. tonight. We are also working with the Sheriff's Department, and our goal tonight is to repopulate those communities. So that is an update on the fire, and I'll certainly turn it over to any questions you folks may have.
Any reports of a hybrid car with an engine on fire off the side of the interstate as the cause for this?
Okay, so we had 3 related incidents to this. We had this fire, and then we had 2 separate vehicle fires that occurred in the area. Neither of those actual vehicle fires were the cause of the fire. However, we have determined that the cause of the fire is related to carbon particles from a vehicle exhaust, but we do not believe it is the cars that were actually on fire separate from this incident. The gentleman's car, in fact, who was on fire, drove by this fire and was actually one of the first 911 calls to be made.
So where exactly is the point of origin, so to speak, that you guys are looking at? Is that along eastbound 8?
Yeah, it's right off of Interstate 8 on the right-hand shoulder of the freeway.
Right at 80, Highway 80 or so, right there?
I haven't been down to the origin.
Yes, it's at Interstate 8 overpass over the old Highway 80, that general area.
That's where you have yellow tape up?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing suspicious about that?
So we had approximately, again, 15 homes evacuated. They were temporarily evacuated to Granite Hills High School and John McQueen Middle School, correct, Bill?
Joan McQueen.
Joe McQueen Middle School. That only affected about 15 families that we actually evacuated. We did put out a little bit wider of an evacuation warning to warn residents to be prepared to leave, but we're feeling really good with the progress of the fire tonight, and we hope to get those folks back into their homes this evening.
Chief, are those 5 homes still threatened that were earlier?
No. Again, just as a matter of precaution, we're going to keep the people out that we evacuated till we can get firefighters virtually on the ground or around the whole incident. But we really want to get those folks home tonight.
But no homes threatened at this point?
None at this time.
You said carbon particles. Would that be parts from a catalytic converter?
Yeah, normally it's from a catalytic converter, and we did find the actual piece from an exhaust system at the point of origin. So we're very comfortable this was a mechanical accidental fire.
So car driving by doesn't even know is catalytic converter's gone out.
Yeah.
Parts fly out, get into the brush, and start the fire.
Yeah.
And the second car that caught fire, was that because of the fire or a mechanical issue due to that car?
Completely unrelated to this fire. And something I want to stress that we've had a very active winter with a lot of rains. We've had over a week of this heat spell, and even today with the temperatures, over 90 degrees, it does not take a lot to get a spark into the grass and very quickly have a very significant incident like we had this afternoon.
If you could talk about the rate of spread, you mentioned it a little bit at the beginning, but I mean, when we were looking at this, just the time lapse, I mean, 150 and then by 2:30 it was just blossoming. What was it that fueled this, and what made it difficult to put all the fire?
Yeah, so we really had a couple of factors today that lined up to the very rapid rates of fire spread. The first was that the fire started at the base of a hill, and fires burn naturally that much faster uphill. We also have, as you feel the breeze, our normal afternoon westerly wind. So the fire was in alignment with the topography and the wind, and then the very dry conditions that I spoke about. The brush is still dead and dry from the drought. Coupled that with the grass that we have this year, and we had that very rapid fire spread. I need to emphasize that we have these conditions across all of San Diego County. We've reached that critical burning point in the season where our fuels are very dry, and with the grass crop, that this could happen anywhere in San Diego County on any warm afternoon. So this is a typical, very rapid afternoon fire.
I know on Sunday we had done a story with you guys that you had sent some of our local Calfire guys and other firefighters up north. Was that does that impact at all fighting today's fire?
No, I'm going to answer it. No, it did not. It's important that this does not account for fires that started yesterday afternoon over today. But just over the weekend in California, we had 633 fires start in the state of California, 14 of those becoming major incidents. So all of the fire agencies in San Diego, not just Cal Fire, but all of the local government agencies sent quite a few resources to central part of California. But what we do is daily, all of the fire chiefs get together, we talk, we held additional personnel on duty, and so at no point this afternoon did we not have the resources here in San Diego County to suppress the fire.
And how are you able to stop the forward rate of spread?
I think one of the main things is a very aggressive use of the aircraft. At one point we had 7 air tankers flying on the fire, backed up by the 4 helicopters. So on a fire that burns this rapidly, our priority is to get the aircraft up, dropping the retardant on the shoulders of the fire, and that really gives the ground troops time to climb the hill and get the boots on the ground. So I definitely think today that having the aircraft available was important. And even with all of the other fires burning in the state, because of the imminent threat to the community of Crest, we rapidly became the #1 priority in the state of California. So we mobilized aircraft from other fires. And I think that was the key this afternoon, is that we were able to get substantial aircraft into the air.
Did I hear you mention a containment number off the top, or we still don't?
Right now we're calling it 0% contained, and we'll update that tonight by about 10 o'clock with a little bit more accurate numbers once we've had a chance to get out and actually map the fire and get a little more information.
What are you guys going to be doing until then, now all night?
So tonight all of our crews are putting in hose lays. We're actually extending water lines up the side of the mountain. We have our hand crews are out cutting brush, putting fire line in. And I think it's important to note, we will be out here, all 3 of our agencies, Lakeside, Alpine, and Cal Fire, will be out here for several days with people on the side of the hill, mopping up, making sure that a day or 2 from now, we don't have the fire come back to life. So I think the major threat, at least for tonight, is over, but we'll have a very substantial force on the fire for tomorrow and into the next day.
And then the fire never jumped Interstate 8 north, right?
No.
Is there more concern about this area because of the cedar fire?
I don't think related to the cedar fire. I think, I've spoken many times, as of all the fire chiefs, that, we live in a wildland environment. And when you live in this beautiful climate of San Diego, that's the price you pay, as we live in wildland fire country. So I think every area in the county that has the brush on a warm summer afternoon has the threat of a fire. And I certainly want to open it up to my partners, Chief Pascal and Chief Butts, if there's any questions for either Alpine or Lakeside. But I really need to stress that in San Diego County, we respond as a unified front. It does not matter the patch that's on the sleeve. We respond together. We work together as one organization. So I know I've been up here at the mic, but I really want to recognize that we have virtually every fire department in San Diego County, along with the U.S. Forest Service, that's fully engaged in the firefight this afternoon.
Sorry, one question about traffic. I'd seen from the helo at one point, were you guys having to turn around traffic on eastbound and westbound 8?
Yeah, in the initial stages of the fire, it just became too unsafe to continue traffic. So I believe CHP was trying to get people off of the freeway and get them back onto surface streets to get them around the fire.
You just touched on it there. What's the rationale for shutting down freeways like that? I mean, just so much the rationale for shutting down freeways.
Yeah, I think one of the major threats is just to the general public driving by, that they're going to get obscured in the smoke coming off the freeway, and we certainly don't want a firefighter hit. The other thing is we have to be very careful with the aircraft and where we drop. So if we're dropping retardant or using the helicopters where we were in very close proximity to the origin of the fire, it's just not safe to have people dropping or driving through if we're trying to drop the retardant out of the airplane. So we're always going to err on the side of public safety, and the initial commanders made the decision that we felt it was in the best interest to close the freeway.
And for evacuations, I don't know if you guys can answer as well. Was anyone refusing not to leave? We thought we had heard that at one point.
No reports of those issues.
I'm not aware of any of those issues.
So everyone that was told to evacuate
Yes.
evacuated.
Yeah, we believe so. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you very much. We will have another press update. We will not do another press conference tonight. You can check back with Isaac Sanchez or our media line, and we'll get updates out on the fire as we have that information. So thank you everybody for being here tonight.
Thanks for the time, guys.
Okay.